Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is Miscellaneous Minds Podcast. I'm your co-host, Boomer Gato, the cat that hands you your dangerous fight back. And to my left over here is the main man, the man that makes the fat stacks. Together we form the dynamic duo that won't die. Tell the ideas, blood, and spice your content that your girls only fans. What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit. And with that, let's get right into it. So, we have a big fight on our hands. Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you boxing fans saw, last time that Francis Ngannou was in the ring, there was almost an upset. And to a lot of people, there was an upset. Listen, Francis Ngannou last fought Tyson Fury in what most of us thought would be a shutout. Tyson Fury is a very skilled boxer. We all thought, he was going to go in there and kind of use his skill to dance around the man, beat him, all that good stuff. What ended up happening is Tyson Fury actually got dropped. Tyson Fury was made to look a fool for a good portion of the fight. So to the stun of a lot of boxing fans, even myself, I'll keep it 100. Francis Ngannou not just stayed in there, but you can make a damn good argument that he won that fight. Now, with that being said, as we all know, he ended up losing officially by split decision, which brought us to this fight here, Ngannou versus Joshua. Now, I watched the face-off between both of them. I'll be honest with you, there's a couple things that I noticed from it that right off the bat stood out to me. Number one, I don't want to say he's scared because he took the fight, but Anthony Joshua in their face-off seemed a bit timid, whereas Francis Ngannou, very confident. He was saying, I am the one that pursued this fight. I reached out to them. I'm the one that asked for this to be made, so on and so forth. Now, all credit to Joshua. Him and Eddie over there at Matchroom, they took the fight. They like, hey, let's do this. Listen, Joshua's also very, very skilled. And I'll be honest with you. Most of us think that Tyson Fury just didn't take the fight seriously, which is why he had such a lackluster performance. But with that being said, listen, you can't count out Ngannou, man. Ngannou has, throughout his lifetime, overcome a lot of odds. So it's likely to happen here. Here's my problem. I do think Joshua's going to win. Joshua has an advantage that Fury didn't have. Joshua has the tape to be able to watch 10 rounds of Francis Ngannou in the boxing ring. So that's good for him. However, and I'm sure as a lot of you boxing fans will attest to this, Joshua has had an issue with his mental game. There's been times where mentally he's been defeated. It happened in his fight against Andy Ruiz. It happened against fights in the first fight against Usyk, so on and so forth. So it's been proven that mentally he might not be the strongest. Don't get me wrong. Joshua has all the tools to win the fight. He's he's great at the boxing fundamentals, which is what he really needs to beat Ngannou. Now, with that being said, again, man, Ngannou's a beast. He's proven that, and again, he proved it against arguably the best boxer in this current era, best heavyweight boxer in this current era. So it's definitely, a dangerous fight for him. Now, listen, I'm still going to put my money on Anthony Joshua. Again, I think now that we have these 10 rounds of tape that Joshua can study, he can formulate a game plan. But I honestly don't think Ngannou's going to come the same way that he came with Fury. I think he's going to be a little bit more aggressive. Don't get me wrong, it's not that he wasn't aggressive against Fury, but he didn't, it's not the usual aggressiveness that you see from Ngannou when it comes to, like, for example, MMA fights. Now, with that being said, can Ngannou win? Absolutely. Ngannou can win. And his strength is where Joshua is weak in my mind, and that's the mental. Francis Ngannou's mental strength is below nobody. Mentally, he's strong as anybody else that would get in that cage or boxing ring with him. So he definitely stands a chance. And because he has that knockout power, he could potentially get a knockout against Anthony Joshua, who has proven to have issues with people that are aggressive. Again, Anthony Ruiz, Usyk, so on and so forth. Andy Ruiz and Usyk. So
Me personally, I do think Joshua is going to take it. That's going to be my call for this. But it's not out of the question that Francis Ngannou can definitely win this fight. What do you think about that, my man?
I think it's interesting because Ngannou, not directly, but he kind of put himself in. He basically put himself into another obstacle. He put himself another obstacle in his path. Granted, it's not by any means his fault. I mean, it's either win the fight or don't. But winning the fight, at least in the people's eyes anyway, he definitely put a lot of boxers on notice. And specifically, yes, Anthony Joshua. Again, like you said, he looked a little bit timid, a little bit kind of afraid for what's going to come at him. Basically, what Ngannou did with that last fight was that he put a lot of boxers on notice. He's not just another MMA dude looking to cash out on a big paycheck. Don't get me wrong, he is cashing out on a big paycheck, but that's not all he's here for. He's here for glory. He's here to prove himself in a completely different sport that's really more focused on just boxing hand to hand. Now, Anthony Joshua has the advantage in which he has the experience, he has the technical know-how, because I think he's, at least how I see it, he's a much more technical boxer. I don't really see him too much in like a knockout artist per se. So I definitely do think he will potentially run around Francis Ngannou a bit more. The scary thing about this is that, like you said, Ngannou, he's as stubborn as a friggin' bull, man. He's just going to keep coming. He's going to come right out the gate. He's going to keep coming for Anthony Joshua. And Anthony Joshua either has to either out-evade him, or he's going to have to outfox him, or he's going to have to match him head on. Matching him head on, I think it would be the worst possible option. I think, yeah, the only thing Anthony Joshua can do, at least looking at his body language, he's going to have to keep outfoxing Ngannou to stand a chance. Personally, I think Ngannou can take it. I think he actually is going to take it. I think he's going to take it. Maybe not like a knockout win, but I do think it's going to be a majority decision for Ngannou, just because, again, you do see the confidence in Ngannou. You see he's not wavering. He's not backing down. He's not giving any sort of chunk of confidence in this match. He's going in. He's going to say, look, I'm going to take this match whether you want to or not. And Anthony Joshua was like, okay, we'll see what happens when fight comes around. Just based on that alone, I think Francis is going to get the edge just by sheer mental game in taking the fight. Anthony Joshua is not looking to win the fight. He's looking to survive it. Francis Ngannou, he is there to win, and I do believe he is going to take it.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, bro. I disagree with you a little bit on that. I don't think Anthony Joshua's just going in there to survive. I think he wants to prove a point. I think he wants to prove that he deserves to be in the ring with Fury. Listen, it's already been said, whoever wins this fight between Joshua and Francis Ngannou is going to get a shot at whoever wins between Usyk and Fury. Which, listen, imagine being Francis Ngannou and being the lineal UFC heavyweight champion and then becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion in boxing. That'd be insane, bro. That'd be fucking insane. Forget the money. Forget the money, man. Just the amount of legacy left by that's fucking insane, bro. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people, myself included, consider Jon Jones to be the GOAT when it comes to MMA. I'm not gonna lie, man. If Ngannou manages to get in contention for the undisputed boxing championship, heavyweight boxing championship, I think he's gonna make a good argument for greatest combat sports of all time. Like, I mean, think about that again, man. He never lost his UFC heavyweight title. He relinquished it, obviously, because he left the UFC. So he's the lineal champion there, and potentially becoming an undisputed heavyweight boxing champion. I mean, shit, man. He'd literally be the first. Who else can say that? You know what I mean? So listen, going back to what I was saying a second ago, I don't think Joshua's just in there to survive. I think he wants to prove a point. I think he wants to prove that he deserves to be in there with Fury once, whoever wins of Usyk and Fury. But listen, one thing that I noticed kind of in my evaluation before we decided to do this video is a lot of the things that boxers normally can do, they can't do against Ngannou. Let me explain what I mean by that. So Fury is very much of the I'm gonna force my will upon you, right? I'm gonna, like, for example, with Wilder, he leaned on him a lot, like he used his weight to tire him out. He, used his bigger frame because he's taller, because he's a bigger guy to push, other boxers around, all that good stuff. You can't do that with Ngannou. Ngannou's the bigger man. Not just that, but think about when a Fury strikes him or when an Anthony Joshua strikes him. They use much bigger gloves in boxing than they do in MMA. So it's almost like the boxing gloves are actually helping Ngannou because it's softening the blow, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? So I think Ngannou has a big chance to win. I think if Joshua wants to be smart, he should box him. He shouldn't fight him. He should definitely box him. Box on the outside. Pick and choose your spots. 1-2 and out. 1-2 and out. But again, I am definitely going to go with Joshua. I think he has the tools. I think theoretically he should. But listen, I am not by any way, shape, or form ruling out a win. I'm not even ruling out a knockout by Ngannou. Ngannou can definitely get it done. Again, he has the mental game for it. He's very confident, as he should be, off of his last fight, even though he lost. But listen, it's going to be a great fight no matter what. It's going to be a great fight for the fans. I'm definitely going to watch. It's going to be interesting to see what happens because, again, the winner of this fight's likely going to get a shot at the undisputed champion, whoever that is, whether that's Fury or Usyk. And I'll be honest with you, I'll be worried if either one of them goes up against an Ngannou. Anything else you want to add to that, my man?
Yeah, so we mentioned a dangerous fight because, again, this winning definitely means a whole lot for Anthony Joshua in this case, and losing again means just as heavy as a win does. If you think about it, Anthony Joshua has just started regaining his confidence, at least confidence in the eyes of the fans, just because of his last 3 wins that he's had over those last fights. And if you think about it, what were the last 2 fights that he started losing fans' confidence in? It was his 2 matches against Usyk, and it was the match and then rematch against Andy Ruiz. And it was only then that people started to kind of lose confidence on how Anthony Joshua is. And let's be honest, this man's been facing allegations of running away from fights, not accepting fights, being scared, blah, 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 whatever. The fact of the matter is, Anthony Joshua has a lot to lose if he loses this fight, and has basically a whole lot to gain from it. So from that position, this man's kind of in a teetering spot right now. He's going to have to win because this is legit a glory or all or nothing fight for him, because he can't be resting on his laurels. He cannot be absolutely going into this like Tyson Fury was in that last Ngannou fight. He can't be going in like, okay, it's just an exhibition, whatever. And yeah, Ngannou made him look like an absolute chunk. Again, officially, Fury won. But let's be honest, from an all fans perspective, from a boxing perspective, from a MMA perspective, everybody looked at that fight and thought, yeah, Ngannou took that fight. Granted, if you look at it on paper, it doesn't look like that. But if you look at the fight and you look at the story that was told in the ring, everybody agreed, yeah, that was Ngannou's fight. He took that fight from them. And Anthony Joshua can't be going into that fight with that. He can't have that be his end-all fight. If he wins, but he looks like absolute dog water in the ring, then there's no confidence going back in the fans' eyes, and there's not going to be any clamoring for him going up against the heavyweight championship, even if he was lineal at that time. So yes, Anthony Joshua has absolutely everything staking on this fight. Francis Ngannou has, if he loses, then that doesn't, like, at the end of the day, look, he can say, look, I went up against the boxer. This is my second big fight. If I lost, nobody I was big in MMA. I'm just starting out in boxing. Anthony Joshua basically, if he loses to somebody that just started out in boxing. At the end of the day, this fight is absolutely dangerous from it, and there's a lot riding for Anthony Joshua going into this fight. And there was a reason why we labeled it as dangerous in the intro.
Yeah, my man, listen, you can't be Anthony Joshua, a former unified champion, on the verge of becoming undisputed, and lose to a man who is in his second professional boxing match. Doesn't matter who the man is. It's not a great look. So you are completely correct about that. We'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it's gonna be a great fight. I'm looking forward to it. And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you on the next one.